Welcome to CSN the Network Podcast. This is your host, Kayvon Cutler, with my amazing co-host, Malik Hampton. How you doing this evening, brother?
What up, bro? I'm doing good, man. How you today?
Man, blessed and I highly favored, as our sister Dree would say. Definitely doing better now that I'm talking to you. Definitely missing Dree this evening. Please don't be alarmed. Of course, this is our first episode without one of our co-hosts. She's out of town on business. So, nothing's happening. Nothing is wrong personally. She's just out of town on business, doing her thing, handling her business. So, we told her we'll handle it from here and hold it down for her. So, Dre, we love you. Definitely thinking of you. You definitely with us in spirit. So, with that said, I'm ready to hop right back into it, fam. We just got done with week 1 of NFL football. Best time of the year because we got college foot, NFL foot going. There's only 3 days out the week where we miss a football league, and that's Monday through Wednesday. After tonight, we right back at it. So NFL week 1 just passed, had a crazy week of football. With that said, what were some of your biggest takeaways from week 1 in the NFL football season, brother?
Some of my takeaways I have from week 1. There's a lot of subpar QB play, across the league. Shout out to your guy Purdy. He played good. Shout out to Baker. I got back on the Baker train last year. Shout out to Baker, man. He's still playing good ball. What else I take away? I think we in for a good season, man. I think the 49ers probably looked the best over the weekend. Them are honestly the Bucks, bruh, to be honest with you. I mean, the people gonna say the Saints, but they played, the Panthers,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think we're in for a good season. I think it's gonna be a lot of parity. I think a lot of teams can really, bump with each other. I didn't see nobody. While the Niners did look, the best, that doesn't mean anything week 1, of course.
Still early. Yep.
Yeah, those are some of my quick takeaways. Just a lot of subpar QB play, and the Niners probably looked the best. It was definitely a lot of other stuff going on. Danny Jones. Who else didn't look good? Joe Burrow. I got a lot to say about that, really. But yeah, man, those are some of the quick takeaways. Just the QB play, how it looked, across the league, besides a few here and there's, and yeah, just it was some good games too. We had a few good games too, across the board. So,
nah, for sure. It started with that Thursday night game between the Ravens and Chiefs. I thought that was a very good game. The Chiefs, to me, look like they haven't missed a beat at all. From the Super Bowl to now, they don't look tired. They don't look like they having a Super Bowl hangover, Malik. The defense is still strapping like crazy. They played a great game. Some of my biggest takeaways, to your point, like we discussed last week, man, I think the Colts are really in position to contend for that division. They almost beat Houston this past Sunday. Anthony Richardson threw a bomb, 65-yard bomb off his back foot leak. Oh my goodness. I know his arm strength was to that level, man. That was one of the best throws I had seen in week 1, by far, easily. Another takeaway I want to say, the Dolphins defense looks really good, man. Jalen Ramsey, he out there strapping, still hitting hard. Tua threw for over 300 yards, despite, what Tyreek endured prior to the game. He still balled out, and we're going to address that here shortly. Chargers, hey, shout out to Coach Harbaugh. He got his first win. That was tough. Some of my biggest takeaway though is how the Lions and the Rams look. I know the Rams are your team, and I'm not just saying that because we were on air. You feel me? That was a great game, that Sunday night matchup, man. It went to overtime. I thought it was crazy to see how y'all came back despite y'all losing Puka. Hopefully he's not out for too long. Cooper, he looking like Cooper Cup looking like he looked, during y'all Super Bowl run, man. He tied a career high on receptions, having 14 of those things. He scored. Him and Matt Stafford, they got crazy chemistry on the field, man. But I was impressed with how Detroit was able to drive the field on y'all in overtime, man. Because y'all got a good defense, to your point. Uh, Cowboys dominated the Browns. Man, we got to figure something out with Deshaun Watson league. I'm really pulling for him. And as I mentioned last week on the episode, that's somebody that I expect to have a re-breakout year. Everybody's counting him out. Everybody thinks, he's washed. I want to see him, bounce back. And there's been rumors, he had something happen within his family, whatever he may have on personally, definitely see him sending prayers to the fam. I hope he figures everything out and gets that rectified. So it's not messing around with his on-field play. And last but certainly not least, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm surprised the Steelers beat the Falcons, but you did, you mentioned last week, Mike Tomlin going to run the ball. He going to play great defense, and he going to slow the tempo of the game down by controlling possession. So those were some of my biggest takeaways with just some of the wins some of these teams were able to get and how good some of the teams were able to look for sure. Shout out my Niners. Definitely got a big win on Monday. I'm looking forward to our matchup this upcoming Sunday against the Vikings league because we haven't beat Minnesota at their field since 1992. So we all know what happened last week when we played them. We was on a roll. Then we lost to the Browns. Then we went to visit Minnesota, thought we'd bounce back, get that dub, and we lost. And I know they still got that on their mind that you got to, because that was just an ugly game. So hopefully we get our get back, man. And yeah, those were some of my biggest takeaways from week 1 of the NFL football season. And moving on, I know you just stated, my Niners, which I appreciate, was your most impressive team from week 1. I think the most impressive team from me, in my opinion, from week 1 was the Chiefs. Just solely because how the defense looked and how they utilizing Xavier Worthy, man. Malik Travis Kelsey barely got the ball last week. And you see what the Chiefs were able to do offensively and defensively, man. Chris Jones still wreaking havoc, you know what I mean? Causing pressure, getting pressures, So that was my most impressive team from week 1 because they still look like, the best team. This is me being neutral. Of course, I'm going to always support my Niners, but I just think like, with the quarterback play and the receivers that they have at the Arsenal, I think they looked really good, man. Holding Lamar and the Ravens to the points that they did, to the point total that they did. I thought that was real impressive. What you think though, Brody?
I think I see it different for real, for real. I don't think the Chiefs, I think they are very much going to be explosive on offense like we're used to seeing. But I seen holes in the defense, to be honest with you. They gonna miss Snead. I seen it week 1, they don't really got nobody that can really, and don't get me wrong, McDuffie played great. You know what I'm saying? He had a good game. But they don't got nobody that can really travel and like lock down nobody no more, bro. Like Lamar missed a bunch of throws. Like, to be honest with you, like his downfield. If you got anything to criticize Lamar about the other night, is his downfield passing. You know what I'm saying? Because he missed a few touchdowns. To be honest with you, just with bad ball placement. You know what I'm saying? And you wasn't seeing that on the Chiefs last year at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think I see it just a tad bit different. That's why I gave y'all the nod. You know what I'm saying? For y'all to not have McCaffrey and just put the young bull in there and he go for that many yards. You know what I'm saying? And y'all make Aaron Rodgers look like how Aaron Rodgers looked before he, really got hurt. Nobody want to talk about it. I think that's why I gave y'all the most impressive nod. But the Chiefs, don't get me wrong, I still think they top 2, top 3 team easily. You know what I'm saying? But just off first glance, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're more explosive on offense, but that defense is going to give up some stuff, bro. No. And later, you'll see, bro. Trust me, they gonna give up some stuff, bro. They gonna miss Snead for sure.
Nah, for sure. Moving on. This is a new segment, that we want to indulge in on the podcast. It's our CSN Player of the Week. Who would you deem as your CSN Player of the Week, Malik? All the top performers that we had. Tyreek went crazy. Tua went crazy. AJ Brown went crazy. Saquon had 3 tutties Friday night. He went crazy. Who would you deem as CSN player of the week, brother?
Baker Mayfield
4 tutties.
is between him or Saquon. You know,
Now
but
Baker looked real good.
I like Baker over this week one. I think Baker had the best week one personally. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Baker. Shake and bake.
And me, my pick for CSN player of the week, I would say 49ers running back Jordan Mason. You know, 28 carries, 147 yards, 1 touchdown. You know, he slipped up on national television, man, and said that they asked him, when did you find out you would be the starting running back? He said, Friday, Lee.
Yeah.
Got
He
everybody.
got to cry in the post game. They must have
Word.
said something to him, bro.
Yeah, for sure. You know they did. You know what I mean? Because he had mentioned that's what makes, that's why I'm upset. You say one wrong thing in the media and look. So I was wondering at the time, in the present time, like, what is he referring to? Then I'm like, oh,
I knew exactly what it was. I'm like, oh,
word. I'm
I
like,
knew it
bro,
once he said it though. I'm like, oh, they gonna have something to say about that, bro, because
yeah,
you got to report that in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And
So yeah,
to Kyle's point, because he addressed it in the post game, I don't think the conversation was like, hey, you starting Friday. It was probably like, yo, C-Mac, hey, he might not be able to go. Stay ready. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what the conversation was. But regardless of the fact, man, he played a great game. And, just for me to address the game real quick, I think we looked great defensively, Malik. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know that we would look as good as we did so early on. Like we look better than we did last year. But you got to think, we got one of your boys, Leonard Floyd, on the other side of Nick Bosa. We finally have a complimentary piece to our edge rusher. Fred Warner looked amazing. Hey man,
we made plays too early.
listen,
Fred
there's
is,
no
yeah.
there's no linebacker better than Fred, Malik.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Me and Kills had this argument all the time. I think it's neck and neck with him and Roquan.
Roquan,
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
come,
Roquan is a dog, and I love Fred too, bro. But I just can't dismiss that Fred is that much better than Roquan, bro. Because
bro.
the Ravens had I know the Ravens are known for defense, but if you really been paying attention, bro, before Roquan got there, bro, they was slipping on defense, bro. He's the reason why the defense tightened back up. Solely him, bro. I promise you. He the reason why Patrick Queen got paid. I'm not saying Fred Warner not nice, and I'm not saying he better than Fred Warner. I'm just saying I think it's
A
very
little closer than
yeah.
what
I think it's very close, bro.
yeah.
Raekwon he be sideline to sideline too, bro. But
Now I
Fred
was just
make
about to say
plays
I give
though.
them both that.
Yeah, Fred
Fred,
make plays. Yeah, he
you
make plays
feel
on that
me?
ball for sure. Yeah.
Fred for some fumbles. He getting picks. And
Roquan had a pick too, though. He
nah,
picked off Mahomes the other night. I forgot about it. That's what I'm saying, bro. They both nice, bro.
yeah,
For real, yeah. But Fred,
but
Fred nasty.
man, but like I was saying, man, like you said earlier, Brock looked good. Ayuk, man, that's why you can't be missing camp, fam. You dropped a tutty. I know if you would have been at camp, that would have been an easy 6 for you. You know what I'm saying? But I love how, of course, how we was able to move the ball. Our rookie lineman Pony was out there dominating his matchup, man. I seen you out there bullying Kinlaw. You know what I mean? I love what I saw defensively. Offensively, man, I would have liked to see what the score would have been had we had C-Mac, but I'm not tripping. Of course, Jordan running downhill, running hard, breaking tackles, trucking people. I loved how physical we played. We still have that aggressiveness to us on defense that we needed. We still have that edge to us. Jawan Jennings looked good, man. He caught 5 passes, him and Debo. Kittle got
Lamar
involved.
Jennings did look good, bro. That's
Hey,
hilarious.
hey, that confidence
He
got him.
getting better, bro. Yeah,
That
he
Super
getting better.
Bowl got him turned, cuz. It got his confidence all the way up. You feel
Nah,
me?
facts for sure.
He had the grill in his mouth after the game. I'm like, with the yays on, I'm like, oh yeah, he feeling himself. Like
I'm about to
you
have
could
to stop
tell.
talking about bro. He making
Yeah,
plays now.
you feel me? So those were our picks for CSM player of the week. And those were, my quick, analysis on the 49ers game against the Jets this past Monday. I do think, we look like one of the best teams in the league for sure. And y'all got to think we look like that, and we still missing Drake Greenlaw. We still missing Hufanga, and we still missing C-Max. So just imagine when we get those 3 pieces back, right? Lake City, my next question to you, we're going to switch a little bit. Is Deshaun Watson done, or do you think he can bounce back?
Man, I don't know. I think it might be like truly like a confidence thing, bro. I think he might be in his head all the way. And I don't know, once you lose your confidence, in any professional sport, you good as done. So I'm still holding out hope. But also I do want to give him a little bit of grace because he was without his left and his right tackles Sunday. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like two of your most arguable important positions, you know what I'm saying, on offense, period. And the receivers missed some plays too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the outcome of the game would have been like because the Cowboys was dominating, but while he missed some throws, they missed some plays too. The Browns just look bad overall, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I thought
And
the defense would look better than that, late.
you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people will tell you like, you know, uh, when they was a playoff team last year and how Joe Flacco ran off, the last few to get them in the playoffs, throwing for how many yards. But I told people last year, what I'm saying, like that's a smoke screen. Joe Flacco is throwing the ball around the yard. Don't get me wrong; he forget how to do that, but he was also putting it in harm's way, bro. He was turning it over multiple times a game, bro. They was just winning the games. You know what I'm saying? Like while he had that stat line. So you get a pass, when you pitching around like that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't think the Browns are still a good team all the way. The roster looks good, but for some reason I don't think they got any cohesiveness, whatever that looks like for an NFL team. I know that's a little different than when we're talking college football, but maybe they'll look better when they get Nick Chubb back and they really get a run game again if he's able to bounce back. I think that could help them out a lot instead of pitching around the yard, as much as they do. But yeah, I mean, I think this is we'll know, what I'm saying, halfway through the season if Watson is back or not. To be honest with you, whether they end up benching him, what I'm saying, or cutting him. He got some more allegations that just popped up. It's a lot going on for bruh, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said
And
I don't know if he's gonna be able to get out his own head, with so much of that drama going on around him. So I'm still holding out hope, but I ain't gonna let you. We'll figure it out this season. That's my answer. You know what I'm saying?
nah, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Nah, you said that perfectly. I don't have anything to add. I'm definitely still holding out hope for, always support the brothers. And I always thought bro was nice. You know what I mean? He beat my favorite college team in the national championship in college. He showed great promise his first few years in the league. I think it is to your point. I think he got a lot of stuff going on personally, and
Bro, he led the league in passing when they traded D Hop.
it's insane. Yeah, it's insane. So just a matter of just getting back right. I think having Nick Chubb will definitely help tremendously. But that's no knock to Jeremiah Ford. But it's just he not Nick Chubb though at all. So moving on, I do want to address this situation real quick. And Malik, of course, I want your opinion. Tyreek Hill got arrested Sunday morning before the game for speeding. And, yes, the police, just to give full background, he got arrested for speeding. The police were being super excessive with their force, super excessive, with their verbiage, how they were talking to him. However, as a people, we gotta, on this platform, we gotta make sure we taking care of our people, man. And I want to also acknowledge how Tyreek Hill was wrong in that situation. First and foremost, yes, the police was wrong, but Tyreek definitely was wrong as well. He helped escalate that situation. I used to teach a course to middle school and high school students on emotional intelligence, specifically to help the state lower the numbers and minorities getting arrested. So one of the de-escalation techniques that I used to teach to, my students was remaining calm, being respectful, answering the questions, flashing your ID. You get out of there simple. The thing he did wrong first and foremost, bruh, he told son Don't knock on my window like that, right? Told son not to knock on his window like that. Okay, cool. You know, you in the Lambo, you don't want him banging on the window. I get that. But then he gonna tell him, yo, Leak, he gonna tell him, do what you gotta do and roll the window up on it. Like my thing is, they don't know what you have in the car. And regardless, you know, we have to address it. You still a black man. You know what I'm saying? So with all the police brutality cases that we have, all the situations we've been through as a people, why even give them the opportunity to think you got something in the whip? I would, Leak, you would never do that. I would never do that. Roll up the window while a cop is right there and we got smacks on the whip. You don't know what he gonna do. Cops already scary. They already think we animals, we aggressive. They already think that about us. So why even feed into that, right? By not being fully compliant, cooperative. All you got, bro, all he had to do, sir, please don't knock on my window like that. I'm Tyreek Hill. I'm a wide receiver for the Dolphins. I'm in a rush to get to the game. I'm running behind. Give y'all an example. Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, a receiver for the Chiefs. When he was playing for the Cardinals, he got arrested for the same thing. They let him go. He apologized. Yes, sir. No, sir. I'm a football player for the Arizona Cardinals, sir. I'm not too familiar with the area. I'm running late for practice. I was just trying to hurry up and get there. It's simple. Because they know what's going on in the media, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't like how they forced him to sit down, but it was just like, bro, you gonna roll your window up on the cops? Like, bro, no. Yes, they were being excessive, but that whole situation could have been avoided had you just, man, look, bro, please don't knock on my window like that. But I'm Tyreek Hill. I'm a receiver for the Miami Dolphins. You know the name. You know what I mean? He don't got to say that. But they gonna know who he is, Lee. Here's my ID. Go ahead and run it. Write me my citation ticket, whatever. Then you gone. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? That situation could have went way left, all because he gonna roll his window up, tell him do what you got to do, bro, and he did. Then you went and played victim. Like, come on, man. We got to do better as a people. And on this platform, I'm gonna educate the youngins because I don't want that to be the next youngin that think he can ride around in the black whip with the tents. You know what I'm saying? Roll up the window on the cop. He might pull out the wham bam. Y'all not Tyreek Hill. Y'all not famous. Like, all he had to do was say his name. Y'all don't have that luxury. So that's my piece on it, Leak. You know, they both was wrong for sure. And you know, I'm definitely not on the police side. You know, I definitely want things to, you know, happen and change in a peaceful manner, but I just don't think how he went about that was the right way at all. But what's your opinion on it, brother?
I mean, you hit most of it. I mean, yeah, I feel like both sides was wrong. Of course, the police did way too much, but he helped escalate it. You know, you gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? He's lucky he was a famous football player. Um, but yeah, normal people, regular civilians, that's not a tactic you should practice.
No.
Might not go that way for you. And I mean, even with Marquise Brown, like Marquise Brown, the cop was aggressive with Marquise Brown. They detained him. He was on the ground in cuffs. Like it was a thing, you know. But he didn't buck at him, you know what I'm saying, and eventually got out of his situation better than Tyreek, you know. So that's a clear cut example, you know, good example. But yeah, man, I ain't got too much on it. You hit most of it, you know. Just don't escalate situations with the cops. Don't give them a reason, man. They always looking for one anyway, especially for us regular black folk, you know.
Exactly. So, you know, we just wanted to touch on that real quick. Y'all know we tackle topics in a different manner up here on the network, man. So we definitely, you know, want to support you know, our people in regards to educating them on what to do and what not to do in those type of situations. Cause again, you know, like bro said, that situation could have definitely went another way. And that wasn't a proper way to de-escalate the situation. Like I'm stuck on the fact he rolled his window up, bro. I would never. Well, how they been doing us, B? I would never roll my window up on them ever. Like I'm yes or no. I'm trying to get out of that situation. I'm not trying to do anything to make you keep talking to me to have us keep interacting. I'm trying to get this done as quick as possible. Boom, here's my ID, my registration, insurance, run the name so I could be out. Do what you got to do. But I'm not about to make I'm not about to make it worse on myself. You feel me? Um moving on though. We discussed, some of the biggest takeaways, some of the great performances that we saw in week one. In week two, though, what are some key matchups that you are looking forward to? I know for me, definitely looking forward to us going to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Like I said, we haven't beat them on their home field since 1992. So I want to see if we can, of course, change that narrative and I guess, fix that curse, so to speak, the Minnesota curse. Definitely want to see how we play up there with how we looking right now, man. And they looked good too this past week. I know it wasn't like the biggest, most impressive win, but they still got the dub, with the resources that they have. So Aaron Jones had over 90 yards. So um, definitely looking forward to this Colts Packers game. Want to see what the Packers look like without Jay Love. The Lions Buccaneers. That's going to be a big matchup. You know what I mean? And Saints Cowboys, two good defenses. I'm looking forward to that matchup, man. So those are some of the big games, so to speak, that I'm looking for in the NFL in week two. What you got in mind though? What's some of the games you looking forward to, B?
The Bears play the Texans, so that's Stroud versus Caleb Williams. I want to see what Caleb Williams looks like in the second game because the first game wasn't that good. Will Levis. Will Levis. I had high hopes for the Titans, but if he gonna play like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be hard to win the division, let alone a handful of games. Because they was dominating the game at first, and then I don't know. He just started turning it up. It just looked bad, man. I don't think the Bears defense is that good. But yeah, then you got, you know, couple playoff rematches. Well, actually not rematch. You got one playoff rematch. That's the Buccaneers and the Lions. I'd like to see that game. Like I said, I had high praise for Baker. I think Baker got his confidence all the way back, found himself a home. So I think that should be a good game. And then the Bills Dolphins play tomorrow. That's a division game, so it means something. And we'll get to see where both teams feel like they're at. For sure.
Yep. That's definitely a big matchup I'm looking forward to as well. Get to see what, if what Tua did last week, if that's going to be consistent. So, the Bills have had their number in recent years. We're going to see what happens. So, would you consider that your game of the week in the NFL? I would say so.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say so. Next, we got our favorite segment. This is a segment that help y'all win money, help us win money as well. Our CSN Pick Six segment. Lake, man, give us your three. Who you got, B?
I like the Dolphins -2.5 versus the Bills. I think they'll beat the Bills this weekend. I'll take the Chargers -5.5 versus the Panthers. Had high hopes the Panthers might look a little bit better. That is not the case. So I would say that is actually a good bet. And then I take the Colts -3 versus the Packers. I don't know who's going to be the quarterback for the Packers. I hadn't really checked into it. But I don't think they win without Jordan Love, personally. So those would be my top three.
Yeah, so
NFL game, bro. I don't know. None that college stuff is weird.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Thank God NFL back, right? I feel like NFL is way easier to bet on too, also. But for me, my top three, I'm taking the Texans over the Bears. They're at home. I got Houston -6. I like that. Next, we got the Chiefs hosting the Bengals. I don't know what's going on with Joe Burrow's wrist. I'm gonna take his word that it's not bothering him. but I still think the Chiefs get that dub. I got the Chiefs -5 against Cincinnati. And then this might be unique to some, but I do think they'll continue to win. Well, this week specifically, but I'm picking the Steelers as they travel to Denver to play the Broncos. I got the Steelers -2.5 versus a rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. That defense looked real good, Malik, on Sunday. So those are my three. Combine and make six for our CSN Pick Six segment. That's what we got for the NFL. Unless there's anything you want to add. Excuse me.
Nah, not right now.
Word. Moving on. Big game this week, starting at noon. First big test of the season for my Alabama boys, the Alabama Crimson Tide. We visit the Wisconsin Badgers this upcoming Saturday at noon. Big game, Malik. I want to see how our secondary looks, man. South Florida could have got us on a couple pass plays, Malik. That game was a weird game. I didn't even realize, Malik, that was the OC from Tennessee a couple years ago when they beat us. And you could tell how he was dialing it up. He was definitely trying to attack the secondary. I expect Wisconsin to do the same. So we got to improve in that area. I know I got on the pod last week and talked about, the inexperience that the secondary has, but there is talent, back there, especially in the transfers that we have. Shout out to Sab, our starting safety, that took over for Caleb Downs. We just got to do better as a defense, as a collective. Got to do better stopping the run. Got to do better on third down, getting off the field on third down. And then offensively, we started way too slow. We got to figure out our identity. I know coaches, I love how he dials it up, but our brand of football isn't just, air raid. We run the ball. So, we don't want to get too far away from our identity. I think it just needs to be a good balance. You know what I'm saying? We got a great dual threat quarterback. Let's use that to our advantage. We got two solid running backs that we could use, a great 1-2 punch. Let's really utilize our weapons so we can get in the end zone earlier, put some pressure on the teams, you know what I mean? Force some turnovers, force some stops, and get the ball rolling. So, Wisconsin is historically always a good team. They run the ball, play great defense. You know what I'm saying? They're undefeated to this point as well. They're not ranked, but, they're a tough team to play when they're at home. So definitely looking forward to that matchup. And I expect us to win, but, we got a lot of work to do, to really show the world that, we still are who we say we are. So it's on us to put that to fruition and make it happen. So that's all I got on that matchup. You got anything you want to add, brother?
Nah, not too much, man. The Gators play Texas A&M Saturday. Ain't got much of analysis for y'all. I gotta wait and see, just like everybody else, bro.
Yeah,
it's been bad. Freshman QB looked good last week. He actually led the whole country in passing yards, which is funny. But they said they're gonna do a 2 QB system now, so we'll see how it looks, man. I ain't really too hyped to tell no lies today, man.
Man, tell us some of your picks for these key games coming up, man. Notre Dame took a tough loss last week, surprisingly to Northern Illinois.
Shout out Northern Illinois and they coach, man.
That's a fact.
They coach.
But I'm bringing Notre Dame up because they visit Purdue this week, on the road. Who you got in that game, man?
I expect Notre Dame to win. They just laid a big egg.
Big egg.
I know Marcus Freeman knows he can't keep doing that, bro. He like 8-4 versus the top 25 while the coach at Notre Dame. I think he like 20-9 total. But bro, he got some of the worst losses, bro. He lost to Marshall, Northern Illinois, Stanford, and we can say Stanford because they not good anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't been good in years, even though they do got a nice receiver. Bro. They got I don't know. He's got some weird L's, bro, but some good wins. So hopefully, since they're playing, another Power 4 team, he can get the guys up to go again, because I like some of the talent they got, especially on defense, but I ain't see none of that versus
You know,
Northern Illinois.
their quarterback hasn't thrown a touchdown in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm. And
First time.
I was a big fan of their quarterback, but I was more a fan of the running back, that I had seen week one versus who they play week one? Texas A&M, yeah, versus A&M. I thought the running backs was really toting that thing. And like I said, the defense is good. They got a bunch of good players on defense,
Just
yeah,
can't
I
get
don't
the ball
know.
in the end zone. Yeah.
It's weird.
Who you got in this? And I'm taking Notre Dame as well. The spread says -10 for them. So do with that information as you will. But the real key matchups, you know what I mean, as far as ranked opponents, we got number 20 Arizona visiting number 14 Kansas State. Friday night game on Fox, prime time. Who you got in that game, Lee?
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna be watching that one closely. I'm gonna take Kansas State because I think they'll be able to run the ball a little bit better than Arizona will. Arizona wants to throw it, so I think Kansas State will probably be able to control the game that way. So I'm gonna take Arizona. I'm gonna take Kansas State, but I am interested to check out Arizona. A lot of Gator fans, if or slash when we fire Billy Napier, not a lot, but there's a little section of Gator fans that throw uh, Arizona's coach out there, Jed Fisher, um, as a replacement for Billy Napier. Um, he does run a good offense, and he's also a Florida Gator alum. Sorry, he went to Florida, so a lot of people latching onto that. So I'm gonna just check him out, see if I like what I see about what he got going on. But I'm taking Kansas State for sure.
Yeah. The spread again is -7 for Kansas State. They're definitely, projected to win. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Arizona gonna beat them. You know what I mean? Just pure, what do you got to lose? I know they got a super tough receiver, you know what I mean, that went crazy in week one. I don't really necessarily think they have the defense to stop K-State from doing what they want to do. However, it's why we play the game, you know what I mean? So so you got K-State, I got Arizona. Next ranked game we got number 24 Boston College visiting number 6 Missouri. Who you got in that?
Missouri, I think Missouri a scraper for sure.
Yeah, me too.
That ain't Florida State that they about to play. Missouri can actually move the ball and score. So yeah, I got Missouri. I got them covering whatever that spread is.
Spread -16.
I was gonna say 14, but that's crazy. Yeah, I got them covering that.
Bad. So, man, do you have anybody that you would deem as the CSN player of the week in college? Anybody that popped off the screen to you? I know for me, real quick, just to throw it out there, Clemson quarterback, Cade Klubnik. I want to say I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. He threw for 378, 5 tutties last week. Definitely went crazy. Trying to help Clemson bounce back as a national contender. We'll see. It's been a couple down years for Dabo as far as his standards are concerned. So, and I know he took a tough opening loss. So we just got to see. But you got anybody in mind for CSN Player of the Week for college, the college portion?
Yeah, I didn't mention my guy for nothing. Number one QB, in the nation last year, dual threat, DJ Lagway for the Florida Gators. He led the nation in passing in week 2. 18 for 25, 456 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. True freshman, so I'm gonna give him some love, bro.
Is that the guy you were talking about
Yep.
coming in?
Mm-hmm.
Now he subbed in for y'all starting quarterback, correct?
When he got hurt versus Miami, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So do you think DJ now is the full-time starter?
No, that's what I was saying earlier. Like they said, they're going with a 2 QB system now, so
Got you. Okay.
we'll see how it looks.
I don't like two QB systems personally, but
Me neither. And I don't think Billy Napier is the offensive mind to be able to pull it off, man. You know, just don't got faith in Billy and how he call the plays, man.
hey, you silly man.
Or that Miami game was just really disappointing for a lot of Gator fans. Not even that we lost, of course. No, we don't want to lose to a rival, but just how you lost, how you look. Just didn't look like a team in year 3.
I do want to pose this question to you though, Malik, real quick. Did you see Shador's post-game comments after they lost to Nebraska this past weekend?
Mm-hmm.
May I ask you, why do you think him and his father does that? I had a conversation with my colleague earlier, and he was like, that's him. That's his dad does that. You know what I mean? He was raised by him. That's him. I'm not going to jump out here and, crucify Shador. I just think as a leader, you got to be mindful of not only what you say, but how you say things. He did come out on, his platform and address some of the comments that he made and acknowledge how, he made a mistake in some of his verbiage and how it opened up room for misunderstanding. But my thing is come on. Then he left the field early. I know you seen that. It's just I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
Um, he was wrong, bro. Plain and simple, as the quarterback, the professional way or the politically correct way, if that's what you want to say. Quarterbacks, they supposed to fall on the sword, bro. They supposed to take the blame because they get all the credit. You know, when the offense is playing good and when games are getting won. So I think it was just a bad look, man. Another bad look. He called him out last year too. And that's truly on them. They recruited the players. They flipped the roster to what they wanted it to be. So nobody really wants to hear any excuses, even though the line is bad. You can't say the line ain't bad, but I mean, that's what it is. This isn't Jackson State no more. You can't just make shift a roster. Think you're gonna compete with people that got continuity, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. And I told you, Nebraska should have beat them last year. That was Matt Rule's first year. He didn't have a quarterback. They couldn't really do nothing on offense. You know, but yeah, he can't be doing that, man. But whoever you talk to is right. That's probably my opinion on it too. Like, he raised by his dad. His dad taught him everything. His dad been with him every step of the way thus far. So that's just what he know. I think people see it as a flaw in him and Dion. To be honest with you.
Word is bond. So well said. Real quick, just to acknowledge, because there's been some talks going on how Michigan don't have faith in their head coach or, they don't really support him because they haven't offered him a contract. He just agreed, Malik, to, they finally come to terms on a framework of a deal that is set for 5 years with a base salary of 500,000 with 5 million, excuse me, in additional compensation in year one. So shout out to Coach Moore. He's Michigan's former OC, now their head coach. Now that Coach Harbaugh left, he just signed a 5-year deal today to be their
Oh,
head
he
coach.
put ink to the paper today.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's a done deal, man.
Michigan got to figure out something at the quarterback position, bro. Like, I mean, that is on coaching for sure. Don't get me wrong. But they was teasing Alex Orji all offseason, and then season come, they roll out the other guy, and he looks bad both weeks. They got a more talent than Fresno State, so they were able to they were able to overpower them. But
Overcome that, yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that versus a Texas. And we seen, you know, Texas put it on them. They couldn't move the ball at all, you know.
Texas looked good, Leak, but we knew that coming in, so you know that's not a surprise. So
we'll see. I mean, Jim Harbaugh ain't there. Jim Harbaugh is a good coach, you know. Um, so it's gonna be hard to replace that production, you know, year in and year out for sure. But I mean, if he learned anything, you know, Jim Harbaugh is he's a team builder, he's a roster builder, he's a developer, you know. So it always takes them a few years to get the type of roster they want anyway, you know. Losing 18 starters, that'll hurt anybody, bro.
man, uh, today's just been a crazy crazy day in sports all around, man. Shout out my boy Shannon Sharp too, man. Going crazy earlier today, B. Uh,
Wow.
hey, wow, Leak. Really hope you got hacked, but I don't think so, man. Someone hacked you and went live. First time I ever heard of something like that. But you the OG, man. I'm not disputing what you're saying, man. You got hacked, you got hacked. I'm with it, man. So, but yeah, that's all I got, Leak. Unless you got any unreadiness, anything you want to state or address.
Um, nah, nothing right now.
Hey, I will say, you know, I gotta acknowledge this. You know, we eclipsed another milestone, Leak. We made it to episode 90. You know, big whole number, right? We definitely, I'm gonna go ahead and say it on air. We got to figure something out for the 100th episode. Y'all know we record weekly, so that's 10 episodes from now. So that's about 2 months from now, 2 months and some change. So, we all got to link up, man, and record in person, man. We got to do something to celebrate that joint crazy, man. Whether we link up in Charlotte or whatever, definitely got to do something for it. But I hate that Dree wasn't with us today, but she was with us in spirit. Like I said, it's nothing going on with the group. We just, we got to get the content out, weekly content. She's been traveling on business. Her job, she got a promotion. Dree's a key and valued member of her company. So, they got my baby working crazy, but she doing her thing. Love you, Drizzy. Definitely thinking of you. And please continue to like, subscribe, share, and view the content. This your boy K. I'm with Leak to God. And we out, man. Peace and blessings.
Peace.